raised in the Lone Star land, with boots on my feet and dreams in my hand. A little sassy but a whole lot of grace. You'll see that fire when you look in my face. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. Barbecue smoke, Friday night lights, cheering for the Astros under Texas skies. A little bit stubborn, a whole lot of charm. This big old heart will keep you warm. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright. From the blue bonnet fields to the city streets, every step I take feels like home to me. With a little sass and a lot of pride, this Texas girl's got nothing to hide. I'm a Texas girl with a heart so wide, family and friends always by my side. From the crack of dawn to the stars at night, I keep it real, keep my soul burning bright.
Gummy shoe prints, laid them down the street. Chocolate wrappers hiding secrets sweet. They don't miss a beat, they've got a knack. With licorice ropes pulling answers back. Twist the wrapper to reveal the truth. A sticky web spun by a candy sloop. No sour lies can escape the grip. These lollipops all
Sebastian, sweet boy, where have you gone? The sun sets low, but we keep marching on. The wind whispers your name soft through the pines, a melody aching in these hearts of mine. Roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastian? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better, oh you deserve better. And your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang like bells through the air. Now silence just lingers, it's more than we can bear. We carry your memory, a flag in our hands. Through shadows and valleys, through shifting sands. The roads are endless, the nights are cold, but your story's a light we'll never let go. Where are you, sweet boy Sebastian? We're searching the hills, the rivers, the plains. You deserve better. Oh, you deserve better, and your army is fighting through heartache and pain. Your laughter once rang through heartache and pain.
Let me put my little self over to the side here for a little bit. Because happy St. Patrick's Day to you all. We got us a happy little fat beer drinking leprechaun today. I hope everybody's wearing green. Today's Sebastian's Day because it's his favorite color. Got to talk about Sebastian when everything is green. For sure, for sure, for sure. Hope everybody's doing well. I appreciate you all for being here. Let me say hello to everybody. Sped teacher, how you doing? Good to see you. Hey, Miss Peggy, DJ, Dan, Brown Eyed Girls, how you doing? Let's see who else we got. TJ, got your message, TJ. Of course, of course. Let's see. Jacqueline, hello to you. Lisa King, hello, darling. Selena, how you doing? Good to see you. Cow Gal, hello. How are you? Good to see you, my friend. Hi, Ashley. Oh, girl. Death of my family. Oh, goodness. Ashley, big prayers and hugs to you. Beautiful. Just know this. You may feel like you're completely broken and destroyed, but deep down in there somewhere, someday, you're going to bring yourself back together. And I'm always here. You can get my email and email me anytime you want to if you need to just talk to somebody or cry or whatever you need. You let me know. I'm here for you. And you got this. I believe in you. Hello, Teresa, Blue Eyes. Oh, there's our beautiful Keely. Hello to you, darling. Good to see you. I was wondering why I was squinting. My screen was down so dark, I was barely reading names. Let's see who else we got with us. Cinderella, always good to see you. Let's see. Garbage Girl, how are you? Let's see who else. Trying to get through here without the chat skipping on me. Hey, Cecilia, good to see you. Patty Lee, hello to you. Valley Gal, how are you? So good to see you. Let's see here. Anybody else sneaking in on us? Kiki, how you doing? Good live today, girl. Good live. Kiki's like us. She thinks outside the box. Because there's a lot of things that could be possible with Sebastian's case. Tam, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh, let's see here. Randa, hey, hey, hey. Hope everybody's having a really good day. Hey, Noni. Is it Noni or Nani? I have a friend that her grandkids calls her Nani, and she spells it the same. And I heard Moon calling you Noni the other day. I was like, well, maybe I've been pronouncing it wrong. But hello to everybody. Thank you all so much for being here today. We got a really special, important live to do. We are fixing to dive deep into a lot of timeline where Sebastian's concerned. Nani said, however you want to say it, I answered to both. Good deal, good deal. Rando, we did get lots of storms, and my goodness, it wasn't until just probably within the last hour that those stupid winds finally stopped blowing. It has been horrible. Trees are falling down because the ground's been so wet. There was a whole marina that collapsed and sunk and destroyed 60 boats up under it, just about an hour and a half north of where I'm at. Right, Kiki? Go big or go home. Oh, good. You didn't have the winds. Those winds were rough. Storms, then it snowed last night's wind swirling around. Oh, goodness, Cecilia, you stay warm, girl. You know, I had a trip that was delayed once already, and then thought about going yesterday, and then the storms and stuff blew in. So hopefully soon I'll be able to get this trip in, but we'll see. Yeah, crazy winds, huh, Patty? That's how it was here. It was insane 50-mile-an-hour winds. And then it would gust, and it was like a train coming through your house. It felt like you could hear it hitting the house. Anyways, we was 75 one day, next day 30 snowing. Ugh. That's how it was here. Sunday, I was wearing shorts and a tank top, and I was wondering why I was getting cold. I just had a fan going, and it was nice. And all of a sudden, it started getting real cold, and I was like, what is going on? And we got down to like 24. I was like, where did this come from? But y'all, I'm going to give y'all a lesson from my granny. My granny lived to be 96. And she always, always, always reminded me every year, do not put your winter stuff away. Do not count winter out until after Easter. There will always be a winter storm of some sorts before Easter comes. And boy, I tell you what, I got to paying attention, and she's been right so far. Yeah, the rest of y'all, in 3 days, we'll be up at 90 degrees. Brown eyed girl said, I'm tired of them giving me the germs. Blue eyes, are you still listening? Are you feeling better? Yeah, sometimes March, sometimes April. And this year, I think it's April 4th. And next week will be, right towards the end of March. So let's hope this was our winter before the summer. Send the warm weather up north. Boy, I wish I could send some of this warm weather somewhere some days. Let me tell you. Yes, Easter is when we here in my area of Texas gets its last cold weather snap or snow. Yeah, Texas Plain Jane. My granny has always told me that. She also said, if you ever see a dead snake on the side of the road, belly up, it's fixing to storm. If you see over half of the herd of cattle laying down, rain's coming. All those old wives' tales, boy, she had them, and she was on the money. But this is also the lady that told every one of her grandchildren what their baby was going to be. She knew it before anybody ever said anything. And I had, I had my brother and my sister. My sister passed away, so there was no kids from her. My brother has never had kids. He didn't want kids. He said my kids were enough for him, and he spoils them as if they are his kids. But my cousins all had boys. Tons and tons of boys in the family. And on my husband's side, there was only one boy at the time that Greg and I had gotten married. Well, then we had Austin. And then his sister had another boy. And then I got pregnant. Months later, she got pregnant. And she had a boy. And I was like, my goodness, when we knew she was having a boy, I hadn't found out yet. And I told my granny, I said, if you think I'm having a boy, just don't talk to me. Well, we had some get together at the house and everybody was there. And I sat down by my granny and I said, Granny, I hadn't even talked to you today. She said, well, you told me not to talk to you. And I was like, oh my gosh, are we having a boy? And she started laughing. And she said, just wait, you'll see. Well, she wouldn't tell me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then come my baby shower, and my granny gave me a crocheted pair of pink booties. And that's when I knew we were having a girl. We weren't even sure. And sure enough, we had our girl. DJ's wearing his green hat with a green t-shirt and green sweatpants. Way to go. Hi, cool gamer. Are you feeling any better, Blue? Somewhat still congested and coughing and wiping your nose. Oh, I tell you what, that storm blew all kinds of pine pollen everywhere. And my sinuses are on overdrive. Hey, Narita, good to see you. Okay, guys. Well, let me start with a little explanation of something that several of you might have read on my post last night. Of course, I don't waste my time listening to ridiculous channels that don't know how to tell the truth to start with. Even if their life depended on it, they would still probably not be able to tell the truth. Well, one of those channels decided to tell some more lies about me. And allegedly, according to this person, I said that Jen, which is Mystic Astrology with Jennifer, was passing out Xanax at Pigfest. Lord, these people are absolutely ridiculous. Because never ever did those words ever come out of my mouth. That wasn't even a thought process that came across my mind. Good golly, Miss Molly. So, yeah, I wasn't going to let that one sit out there. I was going to make it very plain. Show the clip. Because I'm going to bet money you don't have it, because it never, ever was said. These people are ridiculous. And of course, then she goes on to say how much she supports a certain channel. Oh, well, there you go. That's the reason lies were told about me, because that person doesn't know how to tell the truth if she tried to either. So it's a vicious cycle, friends. And I'm a failure at life. That was a funny one. Life hadn't turned out the way I had planned or had actually hoped for 100%. But if you call this a failure, let me see. If you call this a failure, I'll take it all day, every day, because I have family that love me. I am still alive and breathing and in semi-decent health. My bones are just hurting. And if that's what you call a failure, having a family, a beautiful family, had a wonderful, amazing career, and I would still be doing all those things had my body not given out a little bit on me. So if that's what you consider being a failure, okay, I'll take it. I claim them, every bit of them. Because I love my family. Anyways, I tell you, Randa is just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But no, I'm not going to sit here and talk about somebody passing out drugs. That's ridiculous. I don't know Jen like that. I know her talking on her lives on YouTube. So no, I'm not going to say anything about her because I don't know her. That's how ridiculous these people are. It's gross. But then again, these are the same people who said, oh, thank you, Tam. It was stupid Comic Chronicles. And she turns around and says, I have a lot of apologizing to do to Katie and Chris. Not yet. Not yet, I don't. Because they're still suspects. And Sebastian's still missing. But I have said, if it is proven without a shadow of a doubt that Katie and Chris had nothing to do with it, I will be the first one in line to tell them I'm sorry. But that's how I actually felt. I've already said that. But it ain't happening today because they're still suspects. I lost a lot of people because I even said, hey, I have to look at Seth to be fair to Sebastian's case. Because they haven't cleared him either. Why? Does it mean I think he did something? No. Not at all. And then turns around and says, well, Seth is one, that tells all the lies and has all the bad stuff in his life. Katie and Chris, they don't do that. They don't sit on panels with monsters. y'all really, come on now. No worries, we have a video coming very soon. Very, very soon. Don't worry. That one's way too easy. But that's what happens when people who have no ethics, people that believe because someone has a different opinion than them, they're horrible people. Guys, Kiki and I have two different opinions on things. I love her to death. She's a great person. We talk almost every single day. I don't hate her because she doesn't think like I do. It's ridiculous. That's what's wrong with this whole community. And of course, they always have to throw Sebastian's name into all of the crap that they say. And then we're not supposed to call it out? Boy. Hey, happy St. Patrick's Day, reality. Oh, love you so big. Thank you. So, yeah, those are the idiots that are out there that have nothing better to talk about. So let's make up some lies. And they're the person they support a lot absolutely hates me. And it's all good. I could care less because she's a loser too. Anyways, when you go to back rallies with, you know, missing parents of a missing child, well, it just speaks volumes. So, guys, today's subject, a theory that makes sense, all players in position. I want to challenge y'all to get a pen and paper. Write this down. Let's take notes today. I want you to see it for yourselves. Tam, you ready to go a little outside this box on a whole new theory? Because things started clicking together and it all seemed plausible. Is this what happened the night Sebastian went missing? I can't say it's a fact because I wasn't there. Is this a theory? 100%. 100%. It's a theory. It's a possibility. But for the first time in a long time, it's a possibility that might have just made some sense. So, anyways, I'm going to put up something here and we're all going to look at it. We're not playing anybody else's videos today or anything like that. Before we do anything, let me just make sure we read our little thing because, you know, there are idiots amongst us. There are. Myself, along with moderators, subscribers, and anyone in chat express their opinions. On this channel, we present speculation, possibilities, and show things found for everyone to decide for themselves what opinion they have. We are here for helpful purposes only. We're not here for drama, for hate, or anything negative. Please respect all opinions. My content is not to be used in a negative way at any time. So, with that out of the way, I'm going to show you something really here. Here's our timeline. These are things we've been told, things we are learning along this whole 2-year span here. 6:25, we have the timestamp. They left the Texas Roadhouse. It was 6:24 and 50 some odd seconds when she pulled off. At 6:31, her dash cam stopped. That's 6 minutes after leaving Texas Roadhouse. KK's dash cam stopped. She arrived home 8 o'clock, according to what she's told them. About 15 minutes later, trash was taken out. She said it was Sebastian. 9:46 begins their 3-hour phone conversation. 3:10 a.m. we see a lights video that's happening around that 2:58 to 3 timeline. 5:45, Kathy Bowersox was seen at Worsham's. There are 3 people that came forward and said they saw her. 6 a.m., Sebastian's missing. 6:03, KK calls CP. 6:30, we know CP is at work, according to the people he worked with. So here's a timeline. And I've had this timeline on my legal pad here. I've looked at it so many, many times. How did things play out? How did everything seem to happen so that every one of these timelines all fit together and work? There was lots and lots of talk about the 3-hour phone call. If Mr. Chris was there, how would he be able to have this phone call? And they have his phone located in Memphis. So then you got to do lots of thinking. I was talking with someone who works on Sebastian's case as well. And it was like, oh my gosh. Finally, something is making sense. We have footage showing us they were at the bowling alley. We have video footage showing, okay, here they are at Texas Roadhouse. And KK's more interested with all those things over to her right side. We watched the video. We don't have to go back over it. We all know she was more interested in everybody over in their positions throughout that restaurant than she was with her son until she had something to tell him that upset him. So we know those things. Those are facts. So then we got to stop and think, how do all of these players see Katie's eyes? They're walking out. There's two men walking that way. Katie watches them the whole entire time. Follow that green line. She watches them as they walk out. So here we go with a timeline. Write it down. And we're going to find how all these people, these family members of a certain stepfather, what part do they play in all this? We've always, said we're sure they're involved. They know this, that, and the other. Did they help plan this? Was Katie given an ultimatum? Was Katie told, hey, this is what's going to happen? This is what is going to happen. Like it or not, Katie, this is what's going to happen. Whatever this is, I don't know. I have no clue. But what I'm starting to see with all these little details put in front of us, Katie leaves at 6:25 p.m. 6 minutes later, dash cam quits working. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy how she can just assume that, nobody's going to question none of that? None of that whatsoever. I don't know, guys. I just don't understand it. Let me see here. I was going to try to find the video. Let me see if this is it. Because I was wanting to play that 3 a.m. video so we can watch it. No. Hold on. Let me look some more. Sorry, I should have had this all done. But what would be the purpose? What would the purpose be for her to have to turn off her dash cam? To me, it says she doesn't want anyone knowing what happened after that. If you recall, there was lots of talk in the beginning because someone came out and said they saw Katie pull into a convenience store. They saw Katie pulling into a convenience store. Sebastian getting out, or someone getting out. And then another vehicle was right beside her. Okay, so if we're all on that same line there, hang on, let me see if I can find this. I'm trying to find Nick Barris's video here. Sorry, guys. I know I got it somewhere. Okay, I'm just going to show a picture here. I know, Nick Barris. Here it is. Here we go. I want y'all to watch this because this is going to play into the dash cam video. Hold on. Let me get back to StreamYard. Sorry it took me so long. I apologize, guys. Thank y'all for hanging in there with me because here we go.
And I'm Hunter Hoagland. A lot to get to here tonight. Authorities have scrutinized home security video from that Hendersonville neighborhood, trying to learn what happened to that teen with autism.
Now you can take a look for yourself. Our Nick Barris obtained video that appears to show two people near Sebastian's home the night his parents say he disappeared.
The video you're about to see is from early Monday morning, February 26th, around 3:10 a.m. Now, there are no street lights in the Stafford Court neighborhood, so it is at night, pitch black. What you will see here are these 2 points of light believed to be people with flashlights in the area around Sebastian Rogers' Hendersonville home. It is believed Sebastian left his home barefoot and with a flashlight sometime overnight. Since his disappearance, authorities have reviewed security video from homes in the neighborhood looking for clues.
We have had several clips that have come in.
And this one is getting the most attention, showing signs of activity around Sebastian's home the night he disappeared. You see...
Hold on. Y'all heard me on my phone. My best friend called. Oh, I didn't take the banner down. Dadgummit. Sorry, guys. Thank y'all for letting me know. She called. We'll go back and we'll rewatch this. Let's see here. Let me go back. We're going to watch this because this is the most important part. Let's start right here. Here we go.
Sebastian Rogers' Hendersonville home. It is believed Sebastian left his home barefoot and with a flashlight sometime overnight. Since his disappearance, authorities have reviewed security video from homes in the neighborhood looking for clues.
We have had several clips that have come in.
And this one is getting the most attention, showing signs of activity around Sebastian's home the night he disappeared. You see...
Okay, we got subject 1. This is important. Subject 2. Is this something happening up here? I believe so. I believe there were other people out there. All this stuff. I want you to pay attention to how slow subject 2 is coming. Okay? Because we're going to talk about this. Subject 1 is right here.
2 light sources, which we've circled to help you follow. For point of reference, the security camera was pointed toward the back of Sebastian's home in a common area. In the video, you see subject 1 with a light source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes. Subject 1, a few seconds later, then moves out of frame. Then subject 2 reappears and follows subject 1 off screen. It's a short time later, and it's very vague, but then
Woo,
you see
look how
one of the
fast.
subjects moving quickly back through the common area, and that is it.
Whoo, that was fast, wasn't it? Can y'all not hear me? Can y'all hear me talking? Hello, hello. I know, I did. I forgot all about the banner. I'm sorry. You hear me? Okay. So did you watch how subject 1 just stayed dormant there? Did you see how subject 2 was walking kind of slowly and got to subject 1? They go off screen, off of that video over beside that first house on Kellen Drive. Friends, this is where we are thinking outside the box and a possible theory that would make things make sense. When that subject 2 comes back into the camera frame, they are hauling ass all the way back up there. Why didn't they go fast coming out? Why was it so slow getting to the first flashlight? But it didn't take, and even Nick Barris said, moving quickly. I know, I should have said hauling butt, okay? Subject 2 was hauling. They were getting it. Only on the way back. Only on the way back. Friends, think about it. The players that continuously get into the mix are Katie, Chris, his mother, his stepfather. Those 4 are always on everybody's radars. Now, I'm going to put the banner up on purpose this time, because I want you to pay attention. At 6:31, the dash cam stopped. Answer me a question. How long does it take to get to Memphis? 3 hours? Give or take? So from 6:31 to 9:46, when a phone call began, is time enough for a person to drive to Memphis from when the dash cam stopped? Not Katie's car. What if that dash cam was turned off when she pulled into that gas station, not far from their home, a couple of miles? What happens if Katie got out and made Sebastian get out and get in another car? What happens if mommy gets into Katie's car, drives in the driveway where it's pitch black and dark, nobody can see, goes in? It's a very thin person taking out the trash because Sebastian was thin, right? Mommy could fit that bill. She could have took out the trash. She could have been sitting in that house. What if That 3 a.m. timeline, Christopher's going back towards Memphis. And Katie's coming back from wherever she was at. What if Katie is light number 1 and Christopher's mother is light number 2? That would explain the slowness of walking in the dark. And Katie would know that area and would be able to haul butt back to the home to be there. And what's to say? They didn't swap phones. And it was Kathy and Terry on the phone. What's to say? Christopher and his dad were in Memphis by 9:46. But you think about it. If they went to Memphis to start a phone call at 9:46, that's a little over 3 hours to get back. Are y'all with me? I want to see I need to get over here to see your comments and things because I was focused on this timeline. What are y'all thinking? I do not, Randa, but I have been told by someone who has seen the video that it was so dark you couldn't make out anyone. The footage was very grainy because of the darkness, but it was a very slim lower leg person. And they weren't running back, walking on the tiptoes more than anything. But remember, when Seth asked for the last proof of life that law enforcement had of Sebastian, they did not show him that video. They showed him Texas Roadhouse. Yep, KK had the same tennis shoes that night. And they walked alike. I've always thought it was Katie. But what if Katie went to take Sebastian wherever they were going to take him? That means you have from 6:31 to 3 a.m. Guys, we're talking 9 hours. We're talking a 9-hour span there. 8.5 to 9 hours, which a person could drive to Memphis and back. So, Seth has seen the video, Randa. He did see the trash video, but he said himself he couldn't even make out that it would be Sebastian. He couldn't even confirm it. Yeah, Cinderella. They had time to go to Memphis. Because remember, the next day at 1:30 p.m. on Monday, Chris is telling them he's got to go back to get his RV. Why so important? Why was it a necessity for him to go back the next morning to get that RV? Was his dad there in Memphis on that phone call with his wife that had Katie's phone and Katie's car? Is that what they were doing when Kathy Bowersox is sitting at 545 at Worsham's? Katie pulls up. Did they swap back vehicles? They're not open that early, Gal. No, they were not open. Exactly, Cinderella. And he already said in an interview that he paid months in advance. He paid for months coming up. And I've heard through the grapevine that someone did look at the receipt and supposedly, allegedly, he was paid up for the whole year. Sue, I think at 3 a.m., Mommy Socks was in the house. Katie had gone to help do whatever needed to be done, and it was her that walked slowly across the backyard with the light on most of the time. As subject one moves off and we don't see or whatever, we can't tell which light it is that runs back to the house, but there is a light that hauls butt all the way back to the house. Those could very possibly have been two different people. One coming out could be different than the one going back. Exactly, Tam. What was in that camper or who was in it? My question goes now to that morning when there's a house full of people. We've heard that Christopher's mother and his sister was there. We didn't hear about Terry being there till later in the day. I don't know, guys. I just don't know. Oh, I'm tired of these spam calls. So I want y'all to watch. Let me take down the banner and we're going to watch this 3 a.m. video again. And I want y'all to tell me, do you see a difference in the characteristics as they're walking out? Let me get over here to the very beginning. Let's go right here.
With a light source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes. Subject 1, a few seconds later, then moves out of frame. Then subject 2 reappears and follows subject 1 off screen. It's a short time later and it's very vague, but then you see one of the subjects moving quickly back through the common area, and that is it. I know there's not much to see here. You certainly.
Do you look at that video a little differently now? Do y'all look at that video a little bit differently? I know, right, Sue? It's all crazy. Like I said, guys, this is not facts. I can't say none of this is fact. But when I looked at this video, I was like, oh my gosh. It is very, very possible that they could have swapped cars when her dash cam went off 6 minutes after leaving Texas Roadhouse. Who knows what Mommy Socks could have been doing if she was in Katie's car driving around. But she drove into the driveway, into the garage, shut the garage door, and no one saw who was in that car because all those light bulbs had been taken down by Katie on Saturday afternoon. That's it. Patty. But I always go back to the same thing. His mother wanted custody of that little girl of his. We heard how bad she treated Nina and the ugly words she said and the things that they did to Nina as a family unit. His mother would do whatever she had to do to get rid of Sebastian, the one person that could stand in the way of them getting full custody of that young girl. So just weeks before Sebastian was supposed to testify to a judge about the CPS cases against him, he would have lost complete custody. Guys, I don't know. But this puts players in position where was Terry Bowersox already in Memphis so that he could make that call at that time? Was Kathy the one on the phone sitting there till midnight? Nobody knows who was in that house. We don't know if Sebastian ever made it in that house. This was so well planned out, down to the point of her taking down her light above her door, the lights that lit up her driveway, so that nobody could tell who it was taking out the trash. You see what I'm saying? People could be in different positions and part of this that it's crazy. Yeah, Pink Warrior. No proof he made it home. And if you go back to the FBI missing flyer, he went missing from the area of Stafford Court. They don't say he went missing from his bedroom. They don't say he ran away from his house. That's what Katie says. That's Katie's story. Eric Craddock goes back and does this little press conference thing, and someone asked him the words, so you're saying he's barefooted? And Eric Craddock's words are, I'm not saying he's barefooted. That's what his mother said. Exactly, Tam. Katie had to be wherever that was to get his clothes, to bring them back, bring his shoes back, put those clothes in the dirty hamper, put his shoes over by the front door. But hey, if they came in the back door through the garage door, wouldn't he have took his shoes off right there? But all of his shoes were at the front door. Guys, this is a possibility that puts all these players in the right position at the right time. Why would Kathy Bowersox need to be sitting at Worsham's at 5:45 a.m.? Why would Katie need to pull up beside her while she's out looking, so-called looking for her child? Was it because their cars were so similar in color and styles that they needed to get back into the right car? They could have pulled that off. It's not like Kathy's driving a Lamborghini and Katie's over here driving a minivan and let's swap cars. No, their vehicles are so similar. See, Tam, wherever you know, if you're coming in the garage, are your shoes going off at your garage door? If you come in the front door, wouldn't your shoes go by the front door? I've been telling you guys, we have to be able to think outside the box. And when it was presented to me that said, hey, go back and watch that video. Let's watch it again, guys. Watch how slowly subject 2 is walking towards subject 1. Could it have been Kathy Bowersox doing that? Because whoever runs back to the house is very fit and athletic like.
Subject 1 with a light source in the lower right-hand corner. Then you see subject 2 briefly appear and move toward the first before that light source is covered or obscured by bushes. Subject 1, a few seconds later, then moves out of frame. Then subject
Look how slowly subject 2 is walking compared to when they run back.
2 reappears and follows subject 1 off screen. It's a short time later and it's very vague, but then you see one of the subjects moving quickly back through the common area, and that is it. I know, there's not much to see here.
Are y'all with me on that? Do y'all see what I'm seeing? Holy girl. Thank you so much, sweetheart. Love you so big. Thank you for that. The runner looks like KK. Exactly. Holly is so sweet. Yeah, I think so. And this puts all the players in position. This is why it was so important for Kathy to be there that morning to help make sure Katie stayed on script before Chris got there. Oh, cheer meeting. Have fun, girl. Thank you so much. Love you so big. You know, we may be way off. I may be way off. I may be telling you all these things and going over all of this with you and be nowhere close to what actually transpired that night. But if you look at the timing fits. It is so easy from 6:31 to 3 o'clock in the morning to be there, for her to come walking across the yard to swap. Katie run back with Sebastian's clothes and stuff, puts it in the house, puts his shoes in there, because his shoes were accounted for, his shirt was accounted for, and his blue jeans were accounted for in the laundry hamper, allegedly. And from the 3, we say 3:10 because that's what the timestamp said, but it was more like 2:58, the 3 o'clock video. The next thing, Kathy Bowersox is seen at Worsham's. It's not even open. She's not getting gas. She's just parked there. A little bit later, about 30 minutes later, while KK's out running down the street, because it took her so quickly to look for her child, Katie is seen pulled up to where their driver doors are side by side. All they had to do is open doors and swap cars. And surprisingly, the Worsham's video was never recovered before it was re-recorded over. Christopher tells us a story that at 5:30 he's in the crane. Why would he say that? Because that would mess up this thought process that we had today. He had to change that time of being in the crane so that it fits his timeline, not what was actually happening. But we've had multiple different people tell other creators, he was at work at 6:30. They open the gates at 6:30. They start their safety meeting at 6:30, and they start work at 7 a.m. And guys, he tells us, think of this. Christopher tells us that he got home that day about 1:30 p.m. Okay? We heard yesterday when we were going, or was it yesterday? Yeah, we were going over Sebastian yesterday, and Silver's on the scene, talked to the guy, and the guy said that they let him go. He left his work at 11 o'clock. But he tells us it takes 3 hours and 37 minutes. So how is it that he left work at 11 o'clock, according to the men at his job site, and yet he made it home from Memphis to Hendersonville in 2.5 hours? You see what I'm saying? He's given us bogus times. He probably pulled up that route for a certain time of the day where there's the most traffic to encounter. And so, what are we supposed to believe? Are we supposed to believe a suspect? Are we supposed to believe what we're seeing with our own eyes? Yeah, he says he was in the crane at 5:30. Ain't no way. There wasn't another crane operator. That is against OSHA regulations. Huge. You have to have someone there with you that can operate that crane as well. You have to have someone strap you to harnesses and all the things to get up into that crane. But here we go with all this BS. And let's just take a look here, okay? Because here's a Facebook post made by Thomas. I requested he be removed from the crane by 10 or 11 a.m. He was replaced and stormed off the job site. We start work at 7 a.m. Let's go look at this one Thomas made. I'm working at St. Jude's. CP was operating the crane for us on February 26th. I had issues with his performance and his attitude and demeanor all morning. So bad that I requested for him to be removed. Hello. We start work at 7 a.m. When you have people say that, when you have people that are making posts on a public platform, yes, Sue, it was said that CP didn't even tell them he had a wife and a stepson. Remember the lady that met him at the bar, that met him on a dating website? He told the story how his stepson had died in a vehicle accident. And we're supposed to take what Katie tells us. Oh, I don't know why he went out that front door. I don't know why he walked out that door. And the girlfriend in Alabama. That's right. Hitting on the girl at the Texas Roadhouse in Alabama, too. Katie, Sebastian's mother, who speaks one time a year. 2 if we're lucky. But doesn't mind going on panels with people who bash and hate and attack others and make up lies about people. We're supposed to believe her. We're supposed to believe the stepfather who had to adjust his timeline to make it make sense that he was actually really still in Memphis the whole entire time? Because had he not been said, oh, I was in the crane at 5:30 a.m., if he would have said, I got to work at 6:30 and started in the crane at 7 a.m., oh, wait a minute. That wouldn't look so good, would it? That wouldn't look good at all. So let's bump it up to 5:30. Does he not think people don't know about OSHA regulations? Safety? Safety is number one always on those job sites. Always number one. Mr. Chris wouldn't have been on that work site by himself, climbing that big, huge ladder up to the top of that crane and working and moving steel rods and panels and beams and all the things to the top of a building, and yet no one else was there for an hour and a half to do anything with those things he was lifting with the crane. Do y'all see what I'm talking about? But if we go by the timelines and the things that people have said that they witnessed themselves, we have a timeline put together where all of these pieces could fit together. There could have been that 3-hour phone call from 9:46 to right about midnight from Chris's phone and Katie's phone. Because if Terry had driven with Chris after picking up Sebastian when the dash cam didn't come back on, that would be plenty of time to make it to Memphis. Plenty of time. So he could start that phone call if Katie and Chris hadn't made it back there yet or whatever. And it could have been his wife he was talking to the entire time on Katie's phone in her house. And she's the one that came walking out with the flashlight. Walking very slowly through that terrain, unsure of the ground beneath her. But Katie was used to running back and forth back there, right? Allegedly, of course. Allegedly. And so this is a timeline that puts all the players in position. Was Katie coming back at 3 o'clock in the morning with Sebastian's clothes? Was that her that ran and hauled butt across that back common area up to her house? Does she have to turn that light on one last time to make sure she was close to her fence? Because there was a complete difference walking out and walking back. This would put people in positions, all the players in a position to participate in whatever the heck happened to Sebastian, and premeditated down to the fact of Katie took down her lights. So it was very dark and nobody could see who was driving up in that driveway. Nobody could see who was taking out that trash. Her dash cam stopped. So nobody saw where she drove around to after leaving that little gas station. I don't think she would have sat there for an hour and a half. But somehow, some way, this is all premeditated. But we have a mother who says, I woke him up and he was gone. We have a stepfather who says, I have not seen Sebastian since early February until I saw him until the 26th of February. He was missing on the 26th. How did you see him if you weren't there, right? It's those little things that make you question. Those little things that you have to look at. We have to be able to step outside the box and say, oh my gosh, is it possible that this timeline here gave every one of those 4 people the place to be, the position to be in, what was going to happen while they were there, and each time there was a new timeline added. Heck, it could have been Melissa up there in that house, and Kathy could be riding to Memphis with her husband, Christopher, whatever. And Melissa had Katie's phone and car. She's thrown in the mix every once in a while. Like I said, folks, I cannot prove this as a fact. These timelines right here are pretty much what we know from the time they drove off from Texas Roadhouse to the time Sebastian went missing. Where's Sebastian at? He was in the car at 6:25 with Katie, his mother. So where is he, Katie? You know, I'm just a failure at life kind of person over here asking the question to the woman who was last seen with her son. And he hasn't been seen since. I'm such a failure that this timeline could very possibly be something that actually happened. Where in the world could Sebastian be? Is it possible that from the 6:31 dash cam shut off until he was reported missing, he was already in another place, way outside that 5-mile radius, 4-mile radius around his home? That would explain how the dogs got no scent of Sebastian's. There were no footprints of Sebastian's found. No video of Sebastian out and about. All the things. It's possible. You have a mom who, oh, I just want him home so bad. Well, describe to us Sebastian so that people out there looking for your son will know and recognize, oh, okay, that might be him. Well, you see, he likes shiny things, pennies and paper clips. That's the kind of mother we're talking about. The kind of mother that gives a description that he likes shiny things, pennies and paper clips, when supposedly he's lost in the woods somewhere. Yeah, okay. That's going to help everybody identify your child. Oh, wait a minute. It's the same mother who went to YouTube to talk about her child, not to the news, not to the paper, not to the TV stations, not on the radio stations. She went to YouTube. Yeah, I remember that. I do. I forgot all about that. Cinderella said another streamer reported in the beginning that CP and someone's sleeping in a truck at the job site. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Miss Sue, just like that. When a mother has her child missing and supposedly has no clue where he is, he's out there somewhere. She gonna go on vacation and leave a blanket, some snacks, and some shoes on her front porch for her 15-year-old child. Because he's still a child at that age. He is not an adult. Make it make sense, folks. Because none of it does when they say it. None of it makes sense when we hear it out of their mouths because they have to twist and turn things around because they're not telling the truth. If they were telling the truth, Katie would have said, well, I remembered this part too, and then tell a little extra to it. I can understand that. The shock of telling it at the very beginning, along the way, she might think of a little more here and there, but no, not her. She changes the whole damn narrative to her timeline of what happened in the most crucial hours from 6:25 to 6 a.m. She allows her husband, the very first time they speak, she says on Duchess's channel, the first time we heard from him, Katie's words 3 minutes in, I was starting to fall asleep on the couch around 10. Chris goes, well, let's just clear this up right now and make sure we got all the things right here. And he starts going into this timeline, and mom's falling asleep on the couch. It was around midnight. So I told her to get up and go on, put the dogs away, turn off the lights, and go to bed. He changed his wife's timeline, but he wasn't supposed to be there. He's the idiot that continues to put himself there. Not me. Him. He changed Katie's timeline the very first time they spoke within the first 3 minutes. Hang on just a second. Let me get off of here real quick. Let me go back over here. I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to play that for everybody to hear. Because, guys, this is crucial. We never had an exact timeline to begin with because Chris corrected Katie. Hang on just a second. Let me see where it was. Aha. Here we go. Let me share this. Oh, let me take down my banner. Here we go, guys. Let me share this with you. Listen close to the words. And this is 3 minutes into the very first time they spoke on Duchess.
And gone.
He didn't. You were out of town at work, so you were not even home.
Correct, ma'am.
And Mom, you fell asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastian went to bed at 9 p.m. And then you got up off the couch and you went to bed, and you said that was around midnight. And nothing was unusual at that point. Everything seemed okay.
There's actually a piece of, so to make something very crystal clear, so that way there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was right around midnight, just before midnight or right around midnight.
He deserves better? Gosh, that just aggravates the pee out of me. That aggravates the pee out of me. Mom said she was asleep around 10 and she got up around midnight to go to bed. Christopher changes every bit of what she had just said. Every bit of what she just told us. Yep. Patty, agreed. So he said if Sebastian went out the window, we would have heard him, and laughs about it. I tell you guys, if he tells you to go northwest and look for Sebastian, I'm going southeast. Southwest. The opposite of what he's going to tell. And if Katie can't tell you the same story twice, my goodness, what kind of mother are you? You can't keep track of your child, your own child? It was just you and him allegedly in your home after you got home from Texas Roadhouse. Just y'all. That's it. How is it that these two people cannot tell the truth? Here we go. I want to play this one for us real quick. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to play this one I put together as well. Sebastian deserves the truth. And his mother and his stepfather can't seem to say those words. Here we go.
I have.
I have not.
Would you be willing to?
I've offered and volunteered on many occasions to take a polygraph, and I was told directly by law enforcement because of my whereabouts, I did not need one.
I understand.
Hi, Estelle.
Miss Proudfoot, did you pass your polygraph?
I did.
Should I believe him or my lying ears that he has never taken a polygraph before? Didn't he tell us that?
That's what he said. He told you that.
Okay. Dave Mack, crimeonline.com investigative reporter, did he not tell another outlet he had already taken a polygraph and passed it?
Yep, he sure did. Exact words.
Explain,
he said somebody
please.
asked. He did interviews. He did a number of interviews, Nancy, when And in this one particular, asked about, have you taken a polygraph? He said, somebody asked the question, this is a direct quote, was a polygraph taken and has it been passed? Yes. I didn't specify who or when, but what I can tell you, everything has been vetted completely. Polygraphs have come back as passed. So I'm confused as in why they're all wondering if myself, my wife, and the biological father took one. Exact words. That's what he said.
Yeah. Also, at the same time, I was also offered a polygraph from TBI to take, and I took the TBI polygraph. No disrespect to anybody else out there that's a prolificer. They don't know anything about the case. So, I mean, you can ask whatever questions you want to ask to get you a baseline or whatever, and then, you know, there's a lot of things that go into asking those questions. You just can't just randomly ask a question and expect it to be a yes or a no question.
There's also a reason that
about Nancy Grace. I mean, I would not have stood up in that show allowing somebody to address me like she did, because that was a full-on investigation. Like she interrogated you guys. That wasn't an interview.
Well, so look at Nancy's Grace show for what it is. You know, what is her job? Her job is not to sit there and worry about the questions that she gets, that she asks me. That's not what her job is.
Yeah.
Her job is to bring in the ratings and bring in the audience.
Oh, clicks and views is what he's trying to say. How many of you would love to see Nancy Grace interrogate in a courtroom Christopher Proudfoot? Because I'm going to guarantee you, if he said the word machete to Nancy Grace, she'd probably lose it in front of him. He would walk away from there with his head held so low to the ground, he might as well be crawling.
Yep. So however they need to do that is what they do.
Nancy Grace is the original tragedy pimp.
Nancy Grace is the original tragedy pimp. I'm telling you, these people ain't worth listening to, folks. When you think Nancy Grace is the original tragedy pimp, that says more about you than it ever would say about her.
He did have a really good weekend, actually. When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing. When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies." A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here. We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you." Say goodnight to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed, and when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there.
The night of Sunday night, when you said there was a noise, what type of noise do you think that was that you heard?
I'm not honestly sure. It sounded like he was messing with stuff in his room, which was not uncommon, which is why I said, "Hey, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you're supposed to go to sleep."
Okay. So you didn't check on him at that time, but did you?
Now, quite the difference from when she was on Duchess talking. She was so pathetic sounding. And here she's being a little snarky, maybe because her husband was on the phone with Terry Lynn at the time or something. But hey, not our problem.
Did you check on him at midnight? Did you flip the light on and look to see if he was in the bed at midnight when you got up to go to bed?
No, and because I didn't have any reason to. When he was little, I used to check on him all the time, but he's older now and he's 15, and y'all can figure out why a mother may not want to necessarily pop into a teenage boy's room unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Back to that night, you said you were up till midnight. You were reading something. What were you reading?
A chapter for school.
A chapter for school. Are you in school?
I was, yes ma'am. I've since dropped my classes for the time.
What are you studying?
Business administration.
Gotcha. Where do you go to school?
DeVry.
So that night you go to bed at midnight after you've been talking to Mr. Proudfoot on the phone. You put the dogs away in a cage, a crate, inside the home, and you go to bed. Did you check on Sebastian at that time?
I did not.
Okay. Do you normally?
Not typically. Since he's gotten older, I've not been checking on him as frequently throughout the night because normally he's good to go in his room once he goes to bed.
Earlier you had stated you heard a noise in his room before you went to bed. What time was that?
Around 10 o'clock.
10 p.m. What did it sound like?
Now, remember, at 10 p.m., she was falling asleep on the couch, right? Don't forget that part.
Just a thud.
A thud. You stated that you said, look, I don't care what you're doing in there. Go to bed. Is that right?
I was on the couch, which is near his room, and I said, Bubba, did you fall out of the bed? And he said, no, ma'am. And I said, well, whatever you're doing in there, knock it off and go to sleep.
So you heard his voice at 10 p.m.?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what the sound actually was?
I do not.
The noise, the thud, the bump, whatever it was, around 10 p.m. Very possible she's telling the truth. It just, she wasn't really in her house maybe when she heard all that happening.
No.
Allegedly. What is the truth, KK?
That right there is, that would be an assumption, and we never saw him.
Yeah.
Somebody went to bed in, and that was.
Just know the last time I saw Sebastian was early February until I came home February 26th.
Children do not vanish into thin air on their own. Someone else has to be involved. So
it's not about Seth. It's not about KK. It's not about Edgar. It's about get your ass out there and do it anyways. That's what it's about.
The most crucial time of Sebastian's entire life, from 6:25 p.m. until 6 o'clock a.m. His mother can't even tell the same story twice. But I owe her an apology. I'm supposed to apologize to her and to him? Okay. Okay. I hear ya. I have a funny feeling that ain't never going to happen. I don't apologize to child abusers. I don't apologize to a mother who allows it. I don't apologize to suspects. I will call out their repeated lies. I will continue to call out all of the inconsistencies. Because you see, the truth never, ever changes. It's always the same. You might remember a little tiny piece here and there as far as a little description. Oh, yeah, he was wearing this when he was in bed. Or, you know, he didn't put up the puppies, I did. Or the puppies went and laid down with him. Little things. Not changing the complete timeline. No one can fall asleep on the couch at 10 p.m., go to sleep at midnight, study, hear a bang, hear a thud, all while you're asleep still on the couch at 10 p.m. It's not possible. And like Nick Barris just told us, kids do not just disappear. Someone has to be involved. And with this timeline right here, folks, it is very possible the people that could be involved from 6:25 p.m. till 6:30 a.m. Very, very possible. And all the players would be in position. They would have their position. They would have their part to play. They would be there. Someone could have had Katie's phone in her house, drove her car into that driveway, into the garage, shut the door. We don't know who drove in that driveway. We don't know. We don't know if it is Kathy Bower-Sox, Melissa. We don't know if it was Katie. Hell, it could have been Chris driving in there. Nobody knows because Katie took out all the lights. Katie removed the lights. Why would she do that the night before? They came back up right after. They were put back when it's all over and done with. Right? It's insane to me how we're supposed to apologize to these people. Who's apologizing to Sebastian? Who's apologizing to all the CPS cases towards Sebastian? Because the people talking all this shit, they're the ones that have the copies of the CPS report, and yet they still continue to talk. They still continue to support them. And I'm the failure in life. No. If I had a copy of that CPS report, don't you think I would be going to the sheriff's department and saying, look what was sent to me by this person. This is motive. This is motive. He would have lost full custody that he had fought 8 years for of his daughter if Sebastian spoke to a judge. No Sebastian, no court. And that's quite a shame because it was January 29th when the Superior Court judge asked for all the files pertaining to abuse to Sebastian. When people at his school say that family, they are monsters, they are evil, be careful. When those teachers say words that tell what they saw on his body, they know. They've experienced the wrath of Katie and Chris. We heard about the teacher that was having the meeting with all three of the parents, and they felt bad for Seth from the way Katie and Chris treated Seth. But we're supposed to be the ones to ask forgiveness from them? Give me a effing break. Like I said, when there is proof out there that will prove they were not involved in no way possible, I'll be the first in line. It ain't happened for 2 years. I doubt it's going to happen. Dan, you can believe whoever the hell you want to believe. But when the teachers were the ones that was calling CPS, yeah, I'm going to believe them because they're the ones that saw that. And have somebody sit over there and do their best to try to destroy me as a person. Sister, good try. All you did was make me laugh. All you did was make me laugh. It's laughable because you're idiots. What's not laughable is the fact that Sebastian has not been seen for over 2 years. That is not funny. The abuse he suffered at the hands of his stepfather and his mother, allowing it, that's not funny. And yet you support them. It was Chroma Chronicles, her and her lovely chat. I'm never going to talk about a person dealing Xanax out to people at Pigfest. All I ever said about that is if any of you go, please be careful because I don't trust these people. I am more worried about people's safety. Even when they did the whole week thing in front of the sheriff's department, I said, be careful if you go. If anybody goes, be alert. Your safety is important. They're crazy. They're idiots. And they support all the lies that Katie and Chris put out. No, I didn't go. I didn't go. But according to them, I made the comment that Jen was passing out Xanax. The most ridiculous thing ever in the entire world. If I'd have said she was passing out anything, I would guess she was passing out flowers of Sebastian. Just because they do all that crap over there on their side, don't mean we're part of that and we would do that as well. Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Made me laugh. Oh, and don't wait. There's a video to come. I can't pass it up, y'all. It's too easy. They make it too easy. Lord bless them because they need it. We don't have the CPS reports. Seth does. Hey, Laura. Yeah, I'm so busy. I'm all up in everybody's business. I ain't got time even in my own business over here. It's ball season, y'all. I just got a list of track meets. I got a list of recitals and into school activities coming up and all the things with the grandbabies. No. You see, my life has been blessed. May not have turned out the way I thought it would. Been down a very hard road, but I'm standing here today saying, God has blessed me. End of story. And they can say what they want to, because obviously we all are different. Thank God I'm different than them. So, anyways, guys, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you more than anything for having an open mind when I come to y'all with these ideas. When I come to you and say, guys, today we're stepping outside that box. Let me explain. Y'all listen to me. You hear me out. You ask questions. And that's what we're supposed to be doing here. You see what I'm saying? I cannot sit here and tell everybody out there in the universe, this is what happened that night. This is who was where. No, I wasn't there. I don't know. Everything I've heard put out by law enforcement, Sumner County, TBI, and FBI. This is our timeline. These things we know for a fact. There was plenty of time to make a trip really quick and real quick back. And other people could have been in their places. And when you watch that 3 a.m. video and whoever it is was walking out towards light number 1, was being very cautious as they walked. Light number 2 hauled butt all the way back across that courtyard area. It's very possible those were 2 different people. Someone else was in that house until Katie got home with his clothes and his shoes. Very, very possible. Is that what happened? Can't say. All I can say is, in my mind, with all the things we know, all players would be put in position. Everything would make sense. But we'll see. It's up to law enforcement to prove all the things. All we can do is put stuff out there. We can present things in a way that maybe opens up somebody's mind and gets them to look at things. Okay. Yes, Teresa. Teresa says it makes a lot of sense. That's what happened. All premeditated and scripted, in our opinion. Yes. Tam, love you so big, girl. Yeah, Laura, you got to step outside of this. You know, you got to be able to look a little further out. But when you have those facts of that timeline, what Katie tells us, what Chris tells us, we know they've lied. We know they've lied, so we can't trust their timeline. because their timeline could be 100% fabricated intentionally. Right, Teresa? We got to start thinking like criminals. And see, that's my downfall because I'm too trusting. I trust everybody. I always have. Learned the hard way. Have to get over it. This person stabbed me in the back. This person talked ugly about me. It hurts my heart because I don't sit on here and talk bad about people. And when I do, it's a reaction from what they said about me. And TJ said, that's why I'm here, because I can think like a criminal. Oh, guys, thank y'all so much for just hanging out today, listening to my wild thought process. Like I said, I sat down with another person that covers Sebastian's case, and we had to talk about it and discussed it. And it's like a light bulb going off in my head when all these things kept being brought up. And it's like, oh my gosh, that explains all their positions, all the players. This is very, very doable. This case is not so hard to solve. Problem is that the guilty is being protected and the county does not care about Sebastian. They care more about those creeps than a child. I can agree with that, especially one particular officer in the county for sure. Oh, thank you, Rachel. She says, love you, Lolly and Lollipops. Laura, how sweet. I just appreciate y'all letting me be able to do this and not just continue to go with the same narrative. The same narrative hasn't got anybody anywhere. And this is what it's going to take. So guys, I love y'all so much. Be on the lookout for tomorrow's live. Not sure if I'm going to make it on a live tomorrow or not. Have to wait and see. Got a couple of things coming up over the next couple of days. And so I will definitely keep you updated. I will for sure. But, just be safe out on these streets. There's some crazy people out there and they feel the need to talk about us or me, whatever. Anyways, guys, y'all be safe. Have a super good night. And until next time, love and hugs, everybody. Good night.